edition of the Industry Live Show. Today we shall be looking at, let me start again. Welcome to today's edition of the Industry Live Show. I am Kenneth Wally, and today on the show we'll be looking at economic, industry, and business news with strategic commentary. I have with me on the show today entrepreneurs as well as protege of mine. We'll start off by looking at a story on Bank of America to compensate consumers for illegal tactics in credit card add-on products. Alice Donovan, go for the story.
Alice Donovan, today we are finding Bank of America, North American FIA card services. North America for unfairly billed for services relating to identity theft protection, add-on products, and for using deceptive marketing and sales practices for credit protection add-on products. We are also ordering Bank of America to refund fees and provide other redress to consumers. Approximately 2.9 million consumers will be receiving or already have received up to 727 million in refunds for fees paid for these products and services, as well as additional redress. If you are impacted by the announcement, you don't have to take any action to receive a credit or check. If you are one of the consumers affected by the order, Bank of America should already notified you or will notify you directly. If you have questions about whether you are entitled to a refund, you can contact Bank of America. Who is eligible for compensation? Nearly 1.4 million consumers have already received or will receive refunds of at least 250 million in fees for the credit protection products. You receive refunds if you are a Bank of America customer who enrolled in these products at any time over the phone or charge a fee between October 1st, 2010 and March 31st, 2013, and either did not activate benefits or who had a request for benefits denied.
This story is an interesting one on how the banks consistently violate laws that are in place to protect consumers and defraud consumers. Monsieur Blyden, you have a commentary on that. Go for it.
This is great news that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is cracking down on these financial institutions that are blatantly robbing consumers. See, Bank of America is exploiting a principle of amortization. You see, it's causing, in some cases, these practices cause consumers to exceed their monthly credit limits and result in additional costs. This is causing them to go more in debt. And most people are lured into these add-ons because, you know, they promise to protect them in case of a financial hardship. So they're lured into these deceptive ways of profiting for the bank. And I'm glad that the Consumer Bureau is cracking down on this, because recently there were some other cases with some other financial institution that also had to pay back consumers a great amount. So I'm happy about this.
It seems as though most of these financial institutions are deliberately crafting schemes to defraud consumers and ultimately knowing that they'll be fined. But at the end of the day, they've made this money, they've turned over, made interest on it, and for all you know, many consumers who are affected by this might not even know that they have been defrauded unless they come to make a claim or Bank of America informs them. And knowing that Bank of America is using a different standard in dealing with its customers, even with the settlement, they still stand to make a profit out of it. Well, let's go for the next story. First Data and MasterCard partner to advance debit EMV in the US. Carol, go for the story.
agreement which First Data's Star Network will participate in MasterCard's common U.S. debit EMV solution. This agreement, combined with other recent industry announcements, provides a cost-effective solution and accelerates the ability for EMV functionality to be implemented across the U.S. EMV chip cards better protect account information from fraud because they have dynamic data rather than the static data stored in the magnetic strip. By working together, MasterCard and First Data will deliver enhanced choices in how debit card issuers identify and apply multiple network relationships to ensure regulation to compliance in a cost-effective way. Merchants and acquirers will continue to route transactions as they prefer without costly host systems reprogramming. First Data again demonstrates its leadership position in the advancement of EMV in the US, with Star being one of the first debit networks to assist issuers, acquirers, and merchants with equal access to a shared EMV chip card technology without restrictions on cardholder verification methods. First Data Financial Services. This agreement and other EMV agreements we have recently announced helps accelerate the migration to EMV adoption and moves the entire industry a step closer to additional debit payment security, McCarthy added.
The partnership between Europay, MasterCard, and Visa to set up the EMV company is quite a strategic alliance. And what we're trying to do here is to take the credit and debit cards to another level. Previously, if you notice behind your credit cards or MasterCard or Europay or Visa card, you will notice that there is a black magnetic stripe behind, which is where the data is stored. Now that the magnetic stripe allows the card to hold all the financial data in a static way. That means that if somebody was able to get access to your data because they set up a software to capture your username and password, like when they did at the Target data breach. They installed and they sent a virus. They sent a bug that literally stole information that was swiped at retail points of Target. But when such information is stolen, previously, what these computer hackers could do was to use this information to access the bank accounts and finances of owners of these cards. But now, the EMV chip cards are able to protect data or hold data in a dynamic way. So even though you might steal the data, you will not be able to use the data to steal funds from consumers' accounts. I think it will go a long way in building the confidence that many people have lost due to the data breach that has been happening in many of the retail stores recently. We'll go on to the next story. Whole Foods Market acquires 4 new Frontiers natural marketplace stores. Monsieur Bladin, go for that story.
New Frontiers Natural Marketplace and Whole Foods Market Inc. announced today that Whole Foods Market will purchase 4 stores from New Frontiers. The stores average 22,000 square feet in size and are located in Flagstaff, Prescott, and Sedona, Arizona, and San Luis Obispo, California. The two companies expect the transaction to be finalized in the next few weeks. The stores will continue to operate under the New Frontiers Natural Marketplace banner until they are reassigned as Whole Foods Market stores. Over the years, when I have at times wondered if our stores will someday merge with a larger strategic partner, Whole Foods Market has always been my premier choice, said Jonathan King, president of New Frontiers. We are very enthusiastic about their ability to take our stores into a successful future. We know they will provide growth opportunities for our exceptional team members and continue to bring retail excellence, outstanding service to our local communities. As Frontier has done so well, Whole Foods Market also has a long history of supporting the communities we serve. We are excited to expand our presence in the new market in Arizona and Central California, bringing our fresh, delicious, and competitively priced products with the highest quality standards in the business to these different communities, said Patrick Bradley, Whole Foods Market Southern Pacific Regional President. As part of the agreement, Whole Foods Market will offer jobs to the team members at the 4 acquired locations. We want to send our heartfelt appreciation to the wonderful team members to the 4 locations who have provided extraordinary service to our loyal shoppers for so many years, said Jonathan King. We also want to express our gratitude for the customers who have embraced New Frontiers as their trusted grocer. We are confident Patrick and his Whole Foods Market teams will continue to take great care of everyone.
That's quite an interesting story of progress Whole Foods Market is making. Alice Donovan, you had a commentary on that. Go for it.
My comment is the purchasing of 4 stores from New Frontiers will be not only an excellent synergy, but also a huge accomplishment for Whole Foods. New Frontier and Whole Foods, they have a long history of supporting the communities they serve. Also, they provide high quality organic foods, and they are both committed to excellent services. Also, in doing so, we can expect, and when I say we, I should say inner city communities can expect Whole Foods to continue to bring retail excellence and outstanding services in the inner cities. Also, the inner city people, we can expect the stores to provide higher quality foods in terms of freshness. They can delicious and competitively priced production with the highest quality standards. And also, as Whole Foods purchase these 4 stores, the inner cities people will not have to go outside to purchase food. We will not have to go to the suburbs, and also more jobs will be coming to the community. So this is an excellent, excellent synergy.
I think it's like you said, it's an excellent excellent acquisition because Whole Foods is noted for dealing in organic products, and most people are watching what they eat today. And I think it's very interesting horizontal growth for Whole Foods. And I think the more Whole Foods makes progress in this organic food segment, the more the chances that the prices of organic foods is going to drop, and ultimately more people will have access to the kind of food that allows them to develop healthy nutritional patterns. The next story is Alcoa expands in Brazil rolling mill to capture growing demand for specialty packaging in Latin America. Alice, go for that story.
Alcoa announced a $40 million investment in its Itapecuma, Brazil rolling mill to increase production of specialty foils for aseptic and flexible packages. Demand for specialty packaging in Brazil is expected to rise 7% annually over the next 3 years due to population growth and consumer preference. The expansion was announced today at the Expo Aluminio trade show in Sao Paulo. Additional capacity has been fully committed. Alcor enjoys a leading market position in specialty foil in Latin America, where our value-add aluminum is essential for producing highly differentiated packaging, said Alguino Palucci, president of Alcor Latin American and the Caribbean. A growing number of consumers prefer this type of packaging because it keeps products fresher, longer, and our expansion will enable Alcor and our customers to capture the rising demand. Aseptic and flexible packaging made with specialty foil is the most highly differentiated type of container in packaging. Leading food and beverage companies around the world use aseptic packaging, which allows liquid food products to retain more nutrients and taste and remain ready for consumption for up to 12 months, even if unrefrigerated. Their packages more than 175 billion, of which were delivered globally in 2013, are typically a mix of material such as cardboard type paper, plastic, and thin aluminum. The Litapasuma packaging facility is located in the state of Pernambuco, Brazil, which is in the Recife region and employs approximately 700 people. The expansion is expected to add approximately 50 jobs at the plant following ramp-up of production. Initial work for the expansion is underway and commissioning is expected to begin 2016.
Now, this is a very interesting development on the side of Alcoa. A few weeks ago, they released a press release about cutting down the production of aluminum in their mines in Brazil. That means that ultimately it's going to reduce the supplies of aluminum into the market. And then now they are increasing capacity. Their manufacturing plant in Brazil because there is an increase in demand for aluminum foil products. Now you can see the interest balance that Alcoa is doing here. It seems to me that they're trying to influence the price of the overall market price of aluminum on the market. First of all, by driving down, by reducing the supply of aluminum, and on the other end, increasing the demand on aluminum by increasing manufacturing capacity. At the end of the day, this is going to drive up the price of aluminum. And we all know that Alcoa is a major player in the aluminum market. And so, well, at the end of the day, human resource is the loser here, and the price of aluminum will go high, and every consumer will ultimately be affected. I think their drive is more centered towards making profit rather than expanding the market for aluminum and making aluminum products more cheaper. Well, have their own reasons for being in business, and their corporate decisions we cannot judge. Well, let's go for the next story. Motorola Solutions Real-Time Crime Center gives cities access to next level of intelligent policing. Carol, go for that story.
Situational awareness and predictive policing efforts. Now Real-Time Crime Center starter kit from Motorola Solutions Incorporation. With 90% of police departments set to increase their use of predictive policing tactics in the next 5 years, Motorola's system integration and professional consultation services will help public safety officials implement that strategy. The Real-Time Crime Center solution takes inputs from multiple data sources such as video, sensors, alarms, computer-aided dispatch, and records, and combines them with data analytic and mission-critical radio networks to deliver one unified operational view. The starter kit will utilize Motorola's real-time intelligence console, RIC, as the backbone for a system that will integrate video and other solutions with an agency's existing system, including dispatch platforms, to help identify and distribute information. By sharing the right information at the right time, agencies can shorten response time, proactively deploy resources, and increase situational awareness. And I would like to make a brief comment on this. We are at values and the sincere part to make a change. Many businesses have security cameras installed to help prevent crime. It is limited to so it's limited. And we also have the police setting up cameras in certain trouble spot areas. In New York City, for example, we have the project houses where, crimes, violence and all that, and we have them setting up cameras. We have spots under the train, the number. And but we realize that the police emphasis is really on preventing crime and solving crime. And so we see more expertise and professionalism bringing together, combining data to help with this system. And this will take crime fighting to another level. While the two combined, together, it will help us in that lives will be saved, justice will be served, and a certain situation that would have taken years to solve will have. Thank you.
Ed Murray, you have a take on that? You want to make a comment on that? Go for it.
In schools and is monitoring children in the school system that if they leave, they leave at any time. The cameras will show where they're going. Who is picking them up. So in that area is really good. So it's a good partnership for the school system.
Yeah, we saw the story in Pennsylvania where a student went ahead and started slashing students, and there have been cases where people committing crime have held people captive for hours before the arrival of the police and so on. But I see an interesting development here where Motorola is bringing technology, and I think it's long overdue. I see the police departments of many communities, especially when it's a national holiday. What they do is that, knowing that there'll be a lot of drinking, they deploy a lot of cops on the roads, and they do a lot of alcohol testing because they can foresee that that a lot of people drink and a lot of accidents. And I think using the same concept to preempt the activities of the police department is going to help a lot, because most of our police departments, the way they function, is mostly post-mortem. It's after a crime is committed, and then we focus on investigation to catch the culprits. But with this technology, there'll be a lot of preventive measures. For instance, there are some neighborhoods where data is consistent on when certain crimes are performed, and with serial killers, serial criminals, they do things in patterns. And if this data can be used to preempt how police operate, then they'll be more effective in preventing a lot of crimes in many places. So I think that's quite a strategic partnership that will bring down crime in certain areas. Let's go for the last story. Listen, innovate, and improve for the next industrial revolution. Monsieur Biden, go for the story.
21st century freight railroads are listening to our customers and communities, innovating to meet their needs and steadily improving our ability to serve as the backbone of the next industrial revolution. Norfolk Southern Corporation's chairman and CEO told attendees at the Forbes Reinventing America Leading the Next Industrial Revolution Summit here. Today's freight railroads are safe, dependable, efficient, and green. Wick Moorman said, "We move raw material. The good news is that we have the capability and desire to do much more." Addressing a discussion team posited, once left for dead as a relic of the 19th century, railroads are emerging as the most important logistics system of the 21st century. Moorman described several Norfolk Southern initiatives contributing to what often is called the rail renaissance. On the technology side, these include Movement Planner and the Unified Train Control dispatching systems developed in collaboration with GE and the Leader System for locomotive fuel efficiency. In the marketing arena, Moorman highlighted NS expanding services to the crude oil industry and the export automotive trade, where the railroad handles a large percentage of vehicles economy in motion, he said. The earliest predecessors of Norfolk Southern were born at the end of the first industrial revolution, and railroads came into their own during the second industrial revolution, Moorman said. We built our infrastructure and systems for the long term, investing $10 billion since 2010 alone. We plan to be around another 180 years, and you can count on us to do our part to usher in a new age of growth. Norfolk Southern Corporation is one of the nation's premier transportation companies. Its Norfolk Southern Railroad Company subsidiary operates approximately 20,000 route miles in 22 states and the District of Columbia, serves every major container port in the eastern United States, and provides efficient connections to other rail carriers. Norfolk Southern operates the most extensive intermodal network in the East and is a major transporter of coal, automotive, and industrial products.
This is an interesting story of the keys to the next industrial revolution. And Marlene, who had a comment on that, you can go for it.
Yes, Marlene here. I see where their value system is based on their natural potentials. This is the freight train, and it's no longer archaic. They're improving, and their main focus that I can see from this article is that they're saying that they are safe, they're dependable, they're efficient, and they are green. And green goes a long way today in today's world. So they are looking at providing, because they've listened to their customers and the communities because of previous complaints. So they are looking that they should be creating an environmentally safe system and communities that they pass through. And so that the improvement is looking at minimizing the possibilities of spillages, because they're transporting goods that are from the raw material stage through to finished products. So anything can possibly happen. And with smoking, with the locomotive trains, they're improving on that. So pollution is key here for them that I can see. And this is good, because everybody is getting very conscious of where they're living, where they're working, where they're even being entertained. So this is a good move on their part. Also, they're looking at infrastructure to be long-term. So they're not going to be interrupting communities every time to do improvements, because they plan to be around for a long time. this is very, very good on their part. Thank you.
I think the concept of listening to determine innovation and improvement in entrepreneurship and in business is key. Now, during the first revolution and the industrial revolution and second industrial revolution, which is the platform of the developments that we have in our economy today, a lot of businesses emerged but could not sustain their processes because they did not pay attention to the needs of the communities which operated or served. Many products were embraced at the onset, but very soon it was discovered that some of these products were harmful, or process of producing most of the products in the Industrial Revolution were very harmful to communities, and it backfired on entrepreneurs because at the end of the day, if you can't find communities that will embrace your productivity, then you will probably have to shut down a whole plant and move elsewhere. And sometimes the investment is so high that liquidating resources is tantamount to closing down or shutting down your business. So a lot of businesses, especially in the manufacturing area, closed down because their productivity efforts or their products eventually were a nuisance to the community. But what Norfolk Southern is doing here is paying careful attention to what the communities, consumers, and all the stakeholders are saying about their processes and their services. And this is very important. Now we notice that Norfolk Southern is growing stronger and stronger, and its impact on the economy is more positive. They're expanding. Many people think the railroad industry is dying, but on the contrary, companies like Norfolk Southern are making great strides, and the key is right there. Businesses must pay attention to the consumers and the communities that they serve, and that becomes key, not disruptive to the progress, but it becomes a key to how they innovate and how they structure themselves to remain serving these communities and the economy as a whole in the long term. We've come to the end of today's edition of the Industry Live Show. There are more economic, industry, and business news at cibonet.com, where you can also write a commentary which may be discussed during the Industry Live Show. Thank you for watching today's edition of the Industry Live Show. Have a wonderful weekend, and see you on Tuesday for the next edition of the Industry Live Show. Have a wonderful weekend.